back to another stream. So it's about time we did this one, and this is my thoughts on the Reloop Rp2000M. So for those of you who may or may not know, you will have seen, if you do follow the channel, you will have seen that a couple of weeks ago nearly, I picked up some brand new turntables. I picked up from a good friend of mine the Reloop Rp2000M Reloop turntables. And although one turntable is still in need of a needle that is actually on the way in the post, I have, however, been able to use one of the turntables, and I've been doing various mixes across digital and vinyl, so mixing the vinyl into the digital and the digital into the vinyl. Which, you know, has still given me a really good feel of the turntable. It's given me a good chance to just have a play around with the turntable and just get the feel of what the turntable's like. I obviously can't wait to be able to do a full-on vinyl mix and be able to, you know, mix with both turntables and, you know, go from one record into another record instead of digital CDJ. Now, again, if you're a big, long-time follower of the channel, you'll know that I used to have the Sony PSDJ 9000s. I had them for a good couple of years until they sadly broke. Well, one of them sadly broke. I've still got a working one over there, actually, that I'm probably going to clean up and sell. Just needs a bit of a clean. And I used to really love doing my vinyl mixes, so it was only right that I got some more vinyl turntables back, and I went for a little bit of an upgrade. So what do I think of these vinyl turntables? What do I think of the Reloop Rp2000M? I actually really like it, I'm not gonna lie. It feels really sleek. It just feels so good. And when you are going and, you know, you're mixing a vinyl in, I mean, like I say, I've just been doing it into digital, but it feels like it seems to really hold its beat really well. And there's a couple of times where I've actually been lucky and I have got like the BPM spot on. And you know, you really can really tell that it really nicely does stay in beat. But you can also tell, like, if you are just slightly out of BPM, how it will go out. But you can hear it like quickly go out, and everything is just like so clear. Everything is just so like just sleek, and it just feels so good. And you know, when you are mixing a vinyl and it feels really nice to work with, it just, you know, has an absolute just real nice feel to it. So when you are going like that and you are beat matching the vinyl in, and then obviously you're letting it go, and then you're just slightly moving it to get it in beat, slowing it down, it feels really good. And that's what I like with the Sonys. It did feel good, but at the same time it felt like it felt a little bit rough, and it felt like you had to be a little bit more, you know, like you had to proper push down on the record, like, to get it to slow down. And it felt like you had to really proper move it like that to get it in, you know, to sort of set it off and cue it up. Whereas this one, it's just a real nice gentle move, and it just absolutely really has a really good feel to it. So obviously we've got the power on, the power off. This will power the deck on and off, so you just turn that and then all the red lights hit up. Start and stop button just starts it really nicely, starts it really well actually, and then just slows it down and stops it. One little issue I have noticed, and I don't know if this is on these turntables itself or if it's just, you know, I've got these second hand, but when you want to change the RPM, so when you're going to the 45 RPM, sometimes, like, if you just tap it, it doesn't always want to like tap into it. So sometimes you've got to tap a little bit more firmly on it, whereas if you just tap it like that, it's not doing it. But then you go like that and it actually does it. So you can get it to do it, but sometimes you just kind of got to, you know, like, that isn't changing it. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but then you go like that and it like changes it. But with this one, it's just a simple press. So I don't know if that's just something that's happened to me, with these turntables, or if it's something that occurs on quite a lot of them. Now, also another issue I've noticed, and again, I don't know if this is just on mine. I would believe this would be just on mine, but this light doesn't always pop up. Sometimes it'll stay lit up and it'll stay down like that, and you can actually got to pull it up with your hand. It just for some reason doesn't always want to doesn't always want to come fully up, and sometimes, like I say, you can push it down a little bit, which actually isn't too bad, because you can have the light a little bit lower if you want, which is, I suppose, is not a bad thing. But I don't know if that's a thing on turntable, or if that's if it's just a fault with this one itself. But it's kind of one of them faults that isn't horrible, because like I say, you could have the light a little bit lower if you wanted to, without actually turning the light off. So if I pull it up, I can put it down there just a little bit lower if I needed it to be. I don't know if I'd need it to be, personally, but it's there if you want it, I guess, on my version. The pitch control is another thing that I've got to say is really good on these turntables. So the pitch control just feels really nice and tight. It doesn't feel real like on my CDJs. It feels a lot more looser, and it feels a lot more like quicker, whereas on here you can go quick, but it feels like it's got a nice tightness to it. So if you want to have it say just here, it's like it stops like really nicely, and you can really just move it, and it's not like, it doesn't feel loose. It doesn't feel like if you try and move it slightly that you're gonna knock it like 2 BPM quicker than you actually want to actually go. Not that you know what BPM is on vinyl, like, because it doesn't tell you, obviously, but you knock it and then suddenly it goes a bit quicker, whereas with this on here, you can just move it so nicely, and stop it in that right place where you want to stop it. You want to nudge it just ever so slightly, you can, and you're not worrying about knocking it because it's like really loose. So it's a really nice thing. Really, really nice thing. The tone arm seems really, really nice, that I know of from using it. It does everything, obviously, that it should do. You can lift it up, and obviously you can lower it down, and stuff like that. And I love all that part of it. Now, one thing I have noticed that is missing from these turntables, and this is obviously not just on my turntable, this is on the Reloops themselves, is they don't actually have the, I think, I can't remember if you call it a spindle, but if you're going to play, like, say, a 7-inch record, or you're going to play, like, a 10-inch record or something a little bit slower, you can put like a little spindle in the middle, and it'll help hold like smaller records, like 7-inch records. And for some reason these turntables, they don't seem to have them. I don't know if like 7-inch records just sort of like died out, and a lot of records were just mainly like, especially like rave tunes, were just kind of like mainly like 12-inch records. But I do have a couple of 7-inches. I've got a Congress 40 miles on 7-inch, and I did have a Felix Don't You Want Me that sadly broke on 7-inch, and I think I've got a couple of others as well. And I just wondered why, because normally somewhere like up here, you have one of these little spindles, and like I say, you put them in the middle, you can play your smaller size records. But other than that, apart from a few little faults that I think are probably just on this turntable, not the make of turntables itself, I really like them. And I mean, I enjoyed the Sonys. A lot of people said, oh, the Sonys are old, they're not that good, or geez, I started out on them Sonys, and years back, and for me, I didn't mind the Sonys. But then I suppose, with these, I've been spoiled, and now I guess I know what a better turntable feels like, and what a better turntable is. and I suppose that, you know, that's why now I don't really like the Sonys. Or not that I don't really like them, but you can definitely tell like the improvements in these. And Sony that I know of have never made like any follow-ups to their PSDJ turntables. I think they only ever made that model, so maybe there was a reason for that. Maybe they didn't receive that well. I'm not entirely sure. You can't find all that much information about the turntables, and if you go to type in Sony PS, it obviously thinks of PlayStation first, and then you put DJ 900, sorry, PS DJ 9000, and it only comes up with like a few second-hand ones for sale that are like spares and repairs. Little sort of like you know, not really too much information about them, and really what they really were. So I don't really know like when they came out. But you know, back to the Reloops, I absolutely love them, and I know when I did get the Sonys, and the CDJs, I did like videos and streams online, telling you sort of like, you know, my thoughts on them. So I thought it's only right that I do the same for these. I also did it on that Behringer mixer that has already broke right on Christmas Eve, if you didn't know. So I thought it's only right that I came live and told you how I feel about these. So there you go. Make sure to like, comment, share. Peace.